Well, hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. My name is Amy and I will be with you for the show today. And wow, what a start here at Serondela in Thornybush in the Greater Kruger with a herd of buffalo that have arrived for a drink. This is just gorgeous and it looks like a lovely sunny winter's day. Them enjoying a little bit of a drink here, and it is wonderful to be back with you today. And remember that you can chat to me. Please do say hello, let me know who you are, where you're watching from, what you're hoping to see today, and yes, anything along the way that you'd like to ask me or comment on, you're more than welcome to do so. And you can do that via the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us in the YouTube chat stream. Just remember to use @FC if you'd like to make sure that we see your comments and questions directed to me. And then you can also join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth. Or you can WhatsApp us. Just add the number that will be shown to you on screen shortly as a contact on that mobile application. And you can send through those comments and questions through that very convenient way as well. And it seems like the herd maybe have been here for a little bit of time already. Lots of them are already moving off into the shade there. I'm not sure if they're going to choose to settle here. Often what happens is that after a drink, they'll sit down, start to ruminate. You can see some sitting already. And otherwise, they might move off and start feeding again. It just depends where they are in their cycle. But water is such an important part of a buffalo's life, and their lifestyle really centers around it. All their habits and routine goes hand in hand with water availability as well as other resources like grass, and their movements are very much dictated by that. Mercedes, hello, happy Saturday to you, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend. If you are on a weekend, if you are in any industry that is like mine, a weekend is somewhat non-existent sometimes. Although when one does have a little bit of leave, then it is nice to enjoy Saturdays with family and friends. For those who have the regular sort of 9-to-5 work week job. Oh, Marco, you're looking forward to some birding? I'm always looking forward to some birding. Hopefully, I don't see any oxpeckers at the moment, or hear any actually, but they could very well be around and just hiding away a little bit from us at the moment. I find it a common misconception that birding can only be done in summer. It is most certainly also possible to bird in winter in southern Africa. There's plenty of species that are still around. Lots and lots to still see. Yes, the activity is slightly less, but it's still a good hobby or activity to enjoy out in the bush. Duncan, it is a fantastic start, isn't it, with this herd of buffaloes, a few little ones around as well, which are always so sweet to see. I think they're also enjoying some sunshine. The mornings are very chilly now out on drive, and the animals also experience that cold. Oh, a big buffalo bull walking on the left here. Although something as big as the buffalo has a lot more body heat and warmth just because of the size that they are, so they deal with that a little bit better than we do in comparison. And buffalo herds are something that I really enjoy sitting with when out on drive for long periods of time. I mean, I like to do that with many animals, but I think with them, their sounds are something that are quite distinctive. You can actually see some on the right now starting to go into that time of rumination, where they sit like this and rest for a little while and just chew their cud, and choosing this area by the waterhole to do that, which is very nice to see. Duncan, I will ask the buffaloes for you and see if they know, if they can answer it for us. But, Duncan, realistically, they will have a scent or be able to recognize each other through chemical markers, signals that they have. They do, whether they can recognize each individual, that's Harry, that's Sally, for example. I mean, not that they have names for each other, but individually. But do they recognize that these are the members of my herd? Does it matter to them? I'm not sure. It's an interesting one. I do also think that sometimes smaller groups of buffaloes join together because there's no they're not territorial animals. The bulls compete with one another for dominance, but I haven't seen it myself, because the moment when two buffalo herds join together, I think that's quite a rare thing to sort of see it happen. But I have heard that especially when resources are limited, buffaloes tend to group together and you get much larger groups forming because of the limited resources. And I don't think that they mind that too much. The only people that will really mind, or the only buffaloes that would really mind, are the bulls that then have to compete with other bulls for dominance. But that's part of being a big buffalo bull, and having to do that when a female is in estrus. So the social dynamics when it comes to buffaloes is fascinating, and I think there's a lot more that we can learn about them. They're not the most sort of let's say in comparison to even rhinos or elephants, that are quite a lot more complex in their structures, whereas within buffaloes they all sort of hang out together. Yes, there are fights that can occur between bulls, but generally they are herd animals like this. They can form herds of thousands of buffalo together, which is huge, and that's sort of also part of their safety mechanism that they use to help protect themselves, but also to be able to have enough food as well as resources and water and things like that. It can be limited in areas, and hence they tend to group together in larger numbers.
I feel it is a rosetted morning for us. So yes, let's see what we can find.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips as well as fireside chat, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Rosezu, yes, it is a perfect afternoon winter scene with the buffaloes as well as here at Tau. You can just see that there's not much wind around. It's very calm, and it's part of the reason why I love winter so much in the bush. There's benefits to every season. I mean, I'm in it all year round, so it's something that you learn to love different things about the bush in different seasons. And with winter, it's just so nice because you have that relief from the extreme heat that we have in the summertime, especially in areas like Madikwe Game Reserve. But you get these just beautiful winter days. Still need a jacket around often, but just calm and very predictable. No threat of rain usually. Oh, well, this is a lovely surprise. Always hopeful for elephants. But there's something so magical about Ellie's arriving at the waterhole. Looks like some big boys are coming to maybe splash off a little bit, get something to drink. Also a really good chance to see that size comparison between elephant and wildebeest. Well, as these elephants move across here at Madikwe, let's head over to some more elephants that are at Tembe. Well, I'm glad to see the Ellies here again. Yesterday, I think we finished the show off, and it was, I didn't see any elephants unless they were on the other side of the waterhole or something like that. They also just enjoying a bit of a drink. Looks like a beautiful day here in northern KwaZulu-Natal.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
We are here with a male leopard.
Okay, well, as these elephants chill around the waterhole and do their thing, let's head up to Kenya where a giraffe is drinking at Oldonyo. Well, it's a little bit windier here today. So they seem to be having quite a lot of cloudy, little bit rainy weather. And it's just lovely to have a giraffe that's come here to drink. Hopefully we'll see it actually come right up to the water and do its thing. Well, that is so beautiful to see. I love how it sort of balances on the front of its hooves there in the front feet. Quite a lot of birds around. I was just checking if those were the white-headed buffalo weavers or something else that's moving around there. It does look like it is that, and at least one of them. We were looking forward to doing some birding. I think it was Marco. And East Africa is full of so many interesting birds. Mayesh, it is beautiful, isn't it? Wow. Just like a postcard. I do feel sorry for giraffes when they drink. I can't help it. A few oxpeckers now. I was talking about that earlier. You can see the birds having a bit of a water bath there. There they are, beautiful white-headed buffalo weavers. Looks like some white-browed sparrow weavers there as well. Just behind, you can see those very white brows there. Oh, this is beautiful. Yay for birding. Alright, let's head back over to Tau. And here are these ellies that we saw earlier. Some look like they've approached the water already. Interesting to see the coloration on these bulls is all quite similar. Grey, and then they've got a little bit of sort of reddish dirt on their backs and in different parts of their legs and bodies. It's like they've got some highlights that have been coloured in, but that's just from rubbing up against different things and throwing soil on themselves. That gives them a little bit of this very varied coloration that's on their skin at the moment. And you can see that there's one much younger bull here on the right. Look how small he is in comparison. Left his sort of natal herd probably a few years ago, but still has a lot of growing and learning to do. Got one approaching. Let's see what the dynamic. You see how the other one moves out the way straight away. Now we can't always tell when elephants are communicating with each other. There is communication going on, and sometimes it's very clear when that happens, but we don't hear everything. They can communicate with the sound that is below our hearing range, and there's also might be other signals that they can pick up with regards to body language of each other that we wouldn't understand because we don't speak elephant. Can hear the first note of a chin spot batis, that little sound. in winter we generally don't hear the full call. Just because they're conserving energy, they're not mating or breeding at the moment. But it's a very distinctive tone, and that's why we can recognize it as the chin spot batis, the first note of the quite distinctive three blind mice call. Mahesh, it's interesting, your comment regarding female elephants being cheeky when they have babies and they feel like, you know, anyone is not respecting them, whether that be a vehicle or a person or another animal. But it's you know, I think sometimes the babies are more cheeky than the moms. In my experience, at least, we often see that the babies are the ones that want to approach and want to sort of give us little mock charges and shake their heads, whereas mom is so chilled and relaxed and she just walks on by. But that's not to say that if they sense at all that there's a threat or behavior that they can't quite understand, that can mean that they will protect their little one, and elephants are very protective. So yes, if you upset mom, that's never a good plan to do that. So, you know, even advising when self-driving and encountering elephants, to make sure that you never sort of cut off a baby from its mom. So let's say mom crosses the road and baby's still on the other side, to wait and let the little one follow, because it might panic, and if the little one is in distress and mom can't get to it, she will simply push out whatever is in the way and that very well may be your car. So in situations like that, Mahesh, it is important to watch for mom. But actually, generally, if you're just viewing a herd of elephants, it's often the little ones that are a bit more cheekier than mom. There's a black and white bird on the left of this elephant. I'm wondering if we can get a little bit of a closer look. Generally one thinks they are blacksmith lapwings, but because of the white that is on the neck and the chest, that doesn't match a standard lapwing. It might move if this elephant is moving now. Oh, it might be a juvenile actually. Maybe it's a young blacksmith lapwing. It might pop out just on the other side. Otherwise, see if we can get a closer look. I think it might actually just be a young one that hasn't developed the full black neck yet. Alright, well, let's leave these elephants and wildebeest to enjoy their time here at Tau. We're going to head back over to Serondella. The buffaloes are still around, and they are now, most of them now, sitting down and doing their ruminating thing.
This unfolds in front of you.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. Woo. This is action-packed.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. You'll gain access to the channel ad-free. You can rewind and rewatch sightings and gain access to our live Tuesday safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every safari live episode, whenever it suits you. It's just the best way to connect with nature.
Picasso, hello, lovely to hear from you. You want to ask how fast a buffalo can run and if they grow a thicker coat for winter. So buffaloes run, I believe their top speed is about 56 kilometers per hour or 35 miles. Oh, there's a giraffe, miles an hour, which is very fast. If, for example, a lion's sort of top speed is about 80 kilometers an hour on sprint, but they can only keep that up for a few seconds, really. And then, you know, buffalo can keep up that speed they can run away for a lot more endurance than a lion at top speed. So often that is how they also evade predation, is that speed continues and a lion can't keep up, or, you know, they can't get them down, or, you know, there's various things that can happen. As well as even if a lion does jump on them or close by to them, those horns are also very important tools that they can use to chase off the lion. It's a huge risk for them because they can also get injured and even killed by trying to hunt buffalo for various reasons. And in terms of growing a thicker coat for winter, not that I know of. The young ones do get quite fluffy, but I think that's just because of their mass is a lot smaller and body size is a lot smaller than the adults, and so they need that extra covering just to keep them warmer because they lose their body heat a lot quicker than the adults do. I don't know of them getting a winter coat or anything like that. In terms of where they exist generally in these open savannas, although it does get cold, it's not really snowing or extreme cold like other animals in parts of Europe or North America, where those extreme conditions call for extra coating of fur that needs to come through in the winter time. So buffalo pretty much keep the same coat all year round, as far as I'm aware, or that I've ever seen. Nice to see a giraffe arriving and feeding there in the background. Looks like it's found something delicious to chew on. Quite windy here in the low veld, it looks like. Well, we are all about variety at the waterhole. Lots of different animals popping out today. Let's head up to some oryx that are at Old Donyo. Oh wow, this is beautiful. These are some fringe-eared fringe-eared oryx and some beautiful zebra as well. They are such a beautiful antelope. The whole oryx family is very striking, and these are appropriately named. They have these beautiful little fringes at the end of their ears. Look at that, showing you very clearly there now. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
Because we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Now, I was also looking a little bit more in detail about the zebra that we see here at Oldonyo and the fact that they lack the shadow stripe. I know they are a subspecies of the plain zebra, and I believe they are actually known as Grant's zebra that are known to lack the shadow stripe, and they also have the distinctive stripes that extend all the way down the leg, making them extremely striking. Oh wow, here come the oryx for a drink. Oh, on the knees. That's very cool. And you can see that these oryx are a lot more brown in color, I would say, than in comparison to the gemsbok, which are sort of our native Southern African oryx. They're in the same family. and they are a lot grayer in color, I find. Wow, well, while these oryx are enjoying a beautiful drink here at Aldonyo, let's head over to Camelthorn. Oh, wow. Always such an interesting scene here, with so many hippos and now elephants that are also arriving to drink here at the waterhole. This is such a great addition to our show, Camelthorn. It's been very productive. Lots of interesting things that we've been able to watch here since it's joined the Waterhole show fairly recently in comparison to some of the long-standing locations. And I think more than anything, to see hippos out the water as much as we do here is something that we don't really have anywhere else as often as we see them here. You would easily mistake them for a herd of buffalo at a quick glance. Looks like we have this elephant coming closer and closer. I don't know what his plan is. Maybe to get to the mud for a little bit of a splash. Let's see. Looks like he's thirsty and has come to... I'm not sure if there's an inlet pipe here where they feed water for the watering hole. Quite possibly this elephant's worked out that this is where it can get the best water. Melanistic marble it is. It's fascinating to see. I know here we usually see those hippos very much not doing much at all. But I think maybe the weather's just allowing them to be a little bit more active, moving around in and out rather than just sort of sunbathing. I'm not sure. It looks like these bulls are enjoying the waterhole though here. A lovely bit of time having a drink. Well, I love those hippo sounds, don't you? They are so beautiful. Always interesting to hear and see. Let's head back up for some birding at Old Donyo. These are, I think everyone's favourite superb starlings here at Old Donyo. Look how beautiful they are. Tadiwa is directing the second half of the show, and I know that these are her favourite birds. And they really are just stunning. I love that sort of rufusy burnt orange. It's probably my favorite color ever. And they just are gorgeous. And they're coming to do a bit of water bathing here. Mayesh, aren't they just gorgeous? And I think in comparison to other species of glossy starlings, which is basically this whole group that have these iridescent feathers, they, I find, are the glossiest of them all. Oh, that's an interesting bird that's landed there. Looks like something that's transitioning in or out of breeding plumage, or is a juvenile or something. It was a bit quick, I didn't get a great view. But the feathers that are on the wings of these superb starlings are just like crazy blue. The way they shine in the sunlight. Rob, that is a fantastic point, and yes, there is very, very much a reason why they are constantly cleaning themselves, preening, water bathing, dust bathing, applying their preening oil to their feathers. And that's because hygiene as well as feather maintenance is such an important part of a bird's life. It is, you know, a large reason why when many of the flighted birds are able to fly and allow them to be as efficient as possible in that. So it's why, oh, there's some earlands coming as well. Oh, and guinea fowl. Goodness me, it's all happening here. And any dirt or excess, let's say mud, or even for things like birds of prey, vultures with bits of carcass or meat on them, that's not good for their own hygiene and health, which links to bacteria and disease and survival, but also then for flight efficiency and being able to be as sort of aerodynamic as possible. And that's why all of those things are important, and why they do clean themselves so well.
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba and the two cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind the scenes videos, fireside chats and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Well, these two boys are having a little bit of a friendly tussle, I would say. It doesn't look too serious, but they are doing what elephant bulls enjoy, a little bit of head-to-head, tusk-to-tusk action. Constantly, you know, the I wouldn't say the fight for dominance, because they're not really serious, but there's always a bit of, you know, say tension, but sort of who's more dominant. Okay, let's bump heads, figure this out, even if it is rather a friendly encounter. I won't stand from this spot. Who's going to move? Who's going to have a problem with it? That was quite a looks like the wind is definitely blowing from right to left. This poor elephant's actually putting more dust on his friend than himself. Ooh, let's head back up to Oldonyo. Always a treat to have an elephant arrive here. Although he's not doing very much, is he? Just posing beautifully for us. Well, that looks like a very large eland there on the right. We haven't seen too many big eland bulls at this waterhole, at least not yesterday. But he looks, just by his size and also the size of that dewlap, that flap of skin on the neck, very, very big. Greg, it's interesting. You mentioned the dynamics with elephants and asking why the females don't fight. And you would think that they would fight more because they would spend more time together. Well, Greg, it all really comes down to the fact that they're not competition for one another and they don't need to determine dominance. In the animal kingdom, that is the primary reason for fighting occurs in the males, usually, because they have to compete for mating rights. It's a common thread linked through many of animal species. And when animals are territorial, when the females are territorial, they also fight. And in fact, you can have territorial battles or standoffs that we've seen many times on Wild Earth, especially between female leopards. It's not always resulting in physical contact, but it can lead to that if need be, and there's no sort of settling of a territorial dispute. But when it comes to elephants, the females don't operate like that. They are, and the males actually, neither are territorial, and the females don't have to compete to mate with the males. The males have to compete with one another, and that's why there's no real reason for them to fight like we see males fighting. Not to say that the females won't ever have disagreements, possibly nudge each other on the bum, and may have some words with one another through their vocalizations. But that's basically the reason why, even if they spend a lot of time together, there's no serious reasons for them to actually fight with each other. Oh, I love when an elephant poses like this with the foot and the oryx just in between the legs in the background there. Rizezu, yes, the eland was there. It has moved off now, But you say it's your favorite antelope. They are impressive, aren't they? There's just something about an eland that for me is always a special sighting. It's, for me, one of the rarest that I grew up seeing, and it was always an exciting thing to spot an eland, especially at the Addo Elephant National Park, which is quite near to, well, in the Eastern Cape, near to where I grew up, in one of the parks that I visited regularly. And it was always the mission to try and see an eland, because they were always quite far off and you never really had a good sighting. And I remember the first time that I really saw one beautifully up close was at Mountain Zebra National Park, also in the Eastern Cape, just a bit further inland. And wow, I was blown away by just how big the size is of the bulls. Basically the same, sometimes a little bit larger than that of a buffalo bull. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. The best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so, because I've... Best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for, fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
Computer enthusiast, hello. You want to know if elephants stand up on two legs when fighting. Oh my goodness, imagine they did that. That would, I think, lead to some serious injuries, or at least very unstable situations where both could fall quite badly. So as far as I know, no, they do not. That sort of behavior, going up on two legs, is quite strictly, I would say, reserved for when feeding, by certain elephants, known to do in lots of areas of Africa, but quite famously in Mana pools in Zimbabwe, where they reach up to the anna tree fruits and even branches and leaves and things like that on their hind legs. But they have been seen to do it in places like the Kruger National Park in South Africa as well. But I think for them, when fighting, their greatest asset is sort of the fact that they can be sturdy on four legs, and then use the power of their heads and their tusks to fight with one another rather than trying to use their front legs and risking falling over and things like that. Can hear plenty of oxpeckers around now. More and more zebras appearing here, all trying to come for a drink. Elephant doesn't seem too bothered, but definitely aware and alert of them being there. Those zebras are watching so carefully. All that elephant has to do is sort of point his trunk in their direction, maybe flick his head, and they'll be off very quickly. Shiv, hello. You want to know what's cooking? You're hungry for lunch and you don't know what to have. Well, Shiv, I am very much looking forward to heading back to the Lowveld next week and continuing cooking some things up in the kitchen. Wild Earth Food Diaries will continue. But for me, for lunch today, I made some chicken schnitzels last night with some slaw and a bit of mushroom sauce. So I had the leftovers of that for lunch today. It was very delicious. You can also slice that up and put it into a wrap. Very, very nice. I love sort of being able to do something like that with the last night's dinner. Maybe that'll inspire you for your food today. Wow, it seems like more action is happening at Serondela, so let's head over there. Wow, what a scene. We started off with a herd of buffalo, one giraffe popping out, and now we've got a herd of elephants. Well, at least two. And a giraffe that are also coming to drink. This is amazing. I love listening to the sounds, hearing these elephants drinking here. And nice to see the giraffe coming out of the trees to also get to the water hole. Very comfortable, even with the buffaloes around as well. You can see that they all move together there. I think the movement of the elephants, though, may have been a reason for that. They're all staring now, trying to figure it out. But nothing too serious. The one was still ruminating there. And also it does seem quite windy, which also means that their senses are heightened. You can see they're all going to carry on now, head back to the water maybe.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
Out here, every wild moment matters, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel, ad-free 24/7, where you can even rewind and watch something again. Get access to behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and access to early travel offers. It is the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
But I know we've been lucky at Sandringham Private Game Reserve to see giraffes very regularly and in quite big groups, and it always is special. I love to see that sort of number of them together like that. Yes, these Ellies are like, don't forget us too. We're just going to walk through your frame to make sure you can see us. Earth lover, absolutely. I always wait in anticipation. It's part of what is exciting about waiting for a giraffe to approach the water is what sort of leg choice is it going to make? Like you say, is it going to spread them wide, or is it going to do the giraffe bend, or maybe do a bit of both? I've seen them drink where only one leg is bent and the other one stays straight. Bit of a cheeky one here. This elephant bull may be going to like the giraffes move away immediately, and that's quite a small bull, but he's just being a little bit cheeky. Look, he's gonna move off now, I'm sure, wanting to turn, just making sure that they know. Earth lover, we'll have to see now. Oh, that one's going for the bend. Bend to drink. Let's see. Looks like a female here with a bit of a darker coat. What she decides to do. Alright, looks like the bend is the chosen form of drinking for these giraffes here, all three of them having the bent legs. Let's head over now to Oldonyo for perhaps something very special. And indeed it looks like Mr. Wonton has arrived for a drink. You can see those very impressive tusks. And it's been a while. I haven't seen him for a long time. And he is looking so well. Always special to have him as part of our waterhole show. Constantine, it's an interesting question, and it's one that I've often wondered myself. And I think they may get in the way sometimes. But I think also if they were something that was a complete hazard, elephants wouldn't have them anymore. So, you know, the way that they adapt and adjust to certain environments and sort of keep what's useful and get rid of what isn't. It's something that I think, although they may get, I suppose, somewhat heavy for them, it adds a lot of weight to the face and that sort of thing. And I can imagine sometimes when they're walking or moving through places, or even just being able to lift up the head like that, can be a little bit more difficult than ones that have a lot shorter and thinner tusks. But at the same time, elephants are incredibly strong, and a few extra kilograms, you're looking maybe 60, 70, maybe close to 100 kgs per tusk, depending on the size and length and thickness. But that's not too much for an elephant that weighs like 6 tons, for example, to manage. But I think for those that it does get in the way for, that's often why they do break off and don't last so well out in the wild. But for someone like 1 ton here, he has managed to not have them do that and keep them nice and long all through his life.
I get to wake up every morning and go out there and look for cats. I get to create my everyday safari for myself. I grew up in the sort of central eastern suburbs of Johannesburg, fully qualified trails guide and a fully qualified nature conservationist. I love the wild places. I love being in the wilderness. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had and probably ever could have.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
it's actually lovely to see the clouds parting a little bit here. When we first arrived at the beginning of the show, it was very heavily overcast. I think even a few drops of rain are spotted. And now the sun's come out, and who knows, maybe Mount Kilimanjaro will start to peek out in the background, like we sometimes see in the spot. Oh, wow, wonton is really impressive. Those tusks they actually dwarf him. They make him look quite small because of just how big those tusks are. Deb, yes, I think if there was anything to block the view of Mount Kili, we wouldn't mind an elephant being that blockage. Although today the clouds are just heavily located in that area. Duncan, I'm not going to say it's impossible, because I definitely think it is possible for an elephant to die from a venomous snake bite, especially younger elephants, babies. Their bodies are nowhere near the size of an adult, and so venom, if enough is injected, could prove fatal for a young elephant. But generally speaking, you would need a lot of venom to prove fatal or have very serious adverse effects on an elephant, because of the size of their body, and there's just not enough venom injected in most snakes to be able to, let's say, take out a fully grown elephant bull like wonton here, for example. So much of the time they may be bitten. I think it's quite possible for them to be bitten, but they don't generally die from that too often. Nina, it's such a pleasure. It has been a great show, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's been wonderful to have you all on board today. I can't believe that it is the end of another Live at the Waterhole show. It's flown by. I will be seeing you all back on Drive next week, and I'm looking forward to that. And you all must keep well and stay safe out there. Remember, coming up at 3 p.m. is our live drives. So we will be out live on Drive. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here to Wild Earth for that. All right, everyone. I will see you then. But from myself...
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. Today we will be going on an adventure through some of South Africa's most spectacular nature havens. Our locations are diverse and unique and at the forefront of ecotourism and conservation. Amidst fantastic scenery and incredible wildlife, we'll be finding out all the interesting facts about the flora and fauna whilst bathing in the sheer beauty of Africa.